Hello boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Quick Take and welcome back to another video of me covering The Last of Us. Now, episode 4 is out. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to watch it live again. I'm employed, fortunately, unlike some of you people. Just joking. But I was unable to watch it live, but I was able to watch it after work on, today, which is when I'm recording it. So it's a little bit behind everyone else's review, but, yes. It was okay. I quite liked the episode. I think the VFX artists and the set designers did a fantastic job, especially with that opening scene at the gas station. I saw they actually took 100 cars and kind of made them they weathered them and put them into like the apocalypse scene, so it looked like they'd been around for 20 years, and I thought they did a really good job of it. It looked really good. I thought it probably could have been done with CGI, but the fact that they took the practical route, just shows how much they care about their process and how much love and work they're putting into this project. But yeah, brilliant job from them. And we saw a lot more of Joel and Ellie than we did in the last episode. If you haven't seen the last episode of The Last of Us, episode 3, it's a brilliant episode. It's following, I'm sure you're already aware, but for those who aren't, it follows the story of Bill and Frank, two characters in the game. Not main characters, but kind of Bill's a side character, and we don't get to meet Frank. Frank is sadly deceased in the game. Spoiler warning, although I've already said it, so I should have said it beforehand. Oh well. Frank's deceased in the game, but we did get to see him, and it was a lovely story. It was a beautiful story, and it was well told and well acted by both actors. Thank you very much. And the writers did a fantastic job. I think that was a bit of Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann brilliance there. And it got review bombed, and so did this episode. This episode has also been review bombed. I'm not too sure why this one was hit with said bomb. Bomb the city. I'm not too sure why. I don't know if it was just like kind of blow over from the last episode, just people continuing their hate parade. But it's sad to see because a lot of people worked quite hard on this show, and just to have people kind of disrespected like that, it's just you don't want to really see it. But this episode does have a lot of 5-star reviews to balance it out, so that's quite good. I would give this episode, if I was giving it out of 5, I'd probably give it a 3.9. I think mainly because I would say the set designers have carried this episode, and we did see some really nice shots and scenes with Joel and Ellie. But weirdly enough, I actually find that the new stuff that we haven't seen between the characters is kind of better than the stuff that is kind of straight from the game. So they redid the scene with Ellie finding the magazine and that whole charade, and it just felt kind of forced. I don't know how to describe it, but it didn't feel like we were watching the characters Joel and Ellie making their way across America. It looked like we were watching Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey play Joel and Ellie. And I actually think that Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann would be better off. I mean, it's already all done now, but I'm sure they already know that they're probably actually better off just kind of carving their own path through the Last of Us universe with their own story and their own additions, and kind of retelling the story in a new, unique way. I know that some people won't like that, and if I had said that to myself before watching the first episode, I'd be like, what the hell are you on about? I kind of want this to be really, really close and have as many scenes from the game in it, word for word, as possible. But now, I just don't know. I think it just feels like they're reading someone else's script. I think it just feels like they're reading Troy Baker's and Ashley Johnston's script. I don't know. How did you feel about the scene in the car? And I think there's a scene later on where they kind of had it word for word as well. I did like the joke books. The joke books were quite good. I liked how Joel at the start just really didn't want to give into it, but by the end of it, he finished the joke for Ellie before she could. But I feel like they're almost rushing Joel warming to Ellie, and that reminds me of a scene in the middle where it's reminiscent of Ellie's first kill of a hunter, although in the show it's not her first kill. That'll probably be revealed to be Riley, where she probably, spoilers or not, this might be incorrect, but I think that she probably kills Riley after Riley. If you don't know, in the Last of Us Left Behind DLC, it's following Ellie and Riley as they sneak into an old mall, I think, and they both get bitten, and Riley turns, Ellie doesn't, and that's how she finds out that she's immune. However, at that point, she now has an infected Riley with her, and what she's just going to do, say, don't kill me. No, she's going to kill her. That scene's going to be brilliant when it comes along. Not in like a, oh, brilliant, I can't wait to see Ellie kill Riley. I mean, like, as in, wow, this is a really emotional scene. That kind of brilliant. I'm not a sadist. But yeah, as I was saying, I got off track. But there's a scene where Ellie kills Hunter, although she doesn't really kill him. She shoots him in the spine, and then he can't move because his legs are buggered. A lot like Man City at the moment. Well, hey, I might do a video covering that. Might not. Everyone's already done one. Joel ends up killing the Hunter, so Ellie doesn't actually get her kill. She just kind of shoots him, which I thought was an interesting change from the game, because in the game, Ellie kills him, and then Joel gets really angry at Ellie. I can't remember the exact reason why, and then that kind of creates a kind of a void in their relationship, where Ellie's like really trying not to talk to Joel, and Joel's kind of like feels a little bit bad, but he doesn't want to do anything about it, because if he starts feeling, close with Ellie and kind of develops that father-daughter relationship, it'll be much harder for him to drop her off. That's why, at the start of the game, she's just cargo. She's nothing more, nothing less. But following that scene, Joel gives Ellie a gun, which is kind of about the same part of the story where Joel trusts Ellie with a gun. It's that part where you're kind of in that little kind of square, and Ellie's up in the rafters or on the scaffolding with the rifle, missing every shot. Every shot she misses. I swear to God, that bit was so difficult to play through. But Joel gives Ellie her gun, and we find out he's 56 in the show, which makes sense. I mean, he was 36 when the outbreak happened. It was his 36th birthday, so at 20, boom. Some people were confused about that on Twitter. I don't know how. Well, Twitter. But they do seem to be fast tracking this relationship. It took a lot longer for Joel to warm up to Ellie, I feel like, in the game. I don't know if it's because, we're already nearly halfway through the show. In fact, no, we are actually halfway through the show, near enough. So they're kind of almost running out of time, so they're having to fast track a lot of these relationships and introducing characters, and even new characters. We were introduced to a character, Kathleen, who I'm not actually the biggest fan of. I don't think it's the actress. I don't know what her role is yet. I'm not really too sure what her character is. I don't know if she's supposed to be like kind of a dark character. I don't know if she's just like a random person who, I don't even know. I don't know how to describe her character, but I didn't really warm to it at all. And not because she's like a villain, but I just didn't really warm to her performance. And I'm sure that I'm probably in the minority who thinks that. I was just my thoughts while watching the show. I was like, I don't really have any feelings towards this character, positive or negative. It's just, I wish we were watching Joel and Ellie right about now, or I wish we were furthering on the story and exploring Sam and Henry, who have been made different characters in this show. That it sounds like they're almost rebels, part of that group that Kathleen is in charge of, which also has Jeffrey Pierce. And for those of you who don't know, he voices Tommy in the Last of Us games, who is obviously Joel's brother. It's obviously nice to see old actors making comebacks, even if they're not playing their original character. I think Jeffrey Pierce has I don't think he'd be able to pull off the younger brother role. Let's just say that. He's got quite a full beard. Quite a full grey beard, actually. It's quite a cool looking beard. Very cool. I'd like a beard like that one day. But yeah, as I said, I never really warmed to her character. We'll see more of her, I'm sure, in episode 5, which is actually airing on Friday or early Saturday morning for those in the UK as a result of the Super Bowl Sunday. Obviously, it would clash, so it's probably for the better. But that means that it's less time to wait until episode 5, which I think is going to be an hour long, and it's when we're going to see our first bloater. The bloater was teased during the episode. What's her name? Kathleen and Tommy's actor's character, I can't remember his name, go down into the basement, and the ground's literally moving as the bloater underneath it is moving about. It's almost like a dog under the bed sheets, almost, in a sense. But yeah, cool scene. We're gonna get to see that soon. And it ended introducing Henry and Sam. Henry and Sam managed to sneak up on Joel and Ellie as they were snoozing in a skyscraper. Not many times you can say that in a day. But yeah, it's good to see those characters, and I'm sure that you're all going to love them in the next episode, and I'm sure they have a very happy ending. For those who haven't seen for those who haven't played the games, they have long lives, and they live happily ever after. Let's just say that. Although they might actually live happily ever after. I'm just saying, because in the games, Bill and Frank didn't really live happily ever after. In the show, they had a pretty nice ending. So they can be, stories can be changed, and characters' fates can be changed. Not that I think by any means Neil Druckmann would change the fate of the main characters. I'm just saying there's room for change. But yeah, I think I've landed on this. I'm gonna give this episode a solid 3.9 out of 5, or I think that comes to 7.8 out of 10. I think I'm gonna just stick with I was coming up with a ranking system, and I think I'm just gonna go with out of 10. It's tried, it's tested, and it works. Obviously, I'll at some point once I've got Photoshop and I know my way around graphic design a little bit more. I'd like to have like a kind of arcadey kind of animated scoreboard thing that pops up. I think that'd be pretty cool. It kind of slides in nicely in a nice transition. But that's just thoughts of the future when I'm far more technically gifted. Let's just say that. But yeah, a solid 7.8 out of 10 for this episode. Probably the lowest rated episode I've given this. Personally, I've given this so far in the series. I didn't warm to this episode as much as I have in the last 3 episodes. I'm not really too sure. I did quite like, however, that they brought back a song that I've been listening to on Spotify quite a lot recently. It's called "Alone and Forsaken" by Hank Williams. It's actually really good. It's this song stuck in my head. Yes, that's the song. And they also brought back True Faith. They brought back True Faith by Lot Kestner. Which, for those of you who don't know, that was the song in the trailer for The Last of Us Part 2 game, and has actually become one of my favourite songs. Not my most favourite song, but it's definitely in the top 50, I'd say. It's got a very nice tune, beautiful guitar melody, and performed by a beautiful voice. I'd highly recommend you go check it out on Spotify. As I said, the song is called True Faith, and it is by Lottie, or Lotte. Fuck me. I'll throw it up on screen right now. You can read out the name. I'm terrible at names, honestly. You could put Jim Smith and I'd still find a way to mispronounce it. But yeah, 7.8 for episode 4. Let me know how you thought about the episode in the comments below. Did you like it? How do you think about Kathleen's character? How do you think of Tommy's actor's character? He's got a nice beard, I'll tell you that. What do you think about the bloater tease? Are you excited to see the bloater? How do you think the bloater's going to die? Who's going to kill the bloater? Will it be Joel? Will it be Ellie? Or will it be your mum? And that's about it. I'll catch you on the next one. See you later.